Get ready with me. Using Black-owned makeup brands, of course. I was born and raised in Miami, Florida. You know how they say born and raised in the county of Dade. My parents are from Haiti. They always tell me that I'm more Haitian than they are. They are super Americanized, been here probably like 40 plus years, you know what I mean? They are very settled. Lately, I've been using this Danessa Myricks. This is the Groundwork Blooming Romance palette. I've been using this to fill in my brows and I really like it. This is what the palette looks like, and it's like these are cream and these are powders. So it's like you can almost, like when you're using it for your eyes, use the cream as a primer, and then you can set it with the powder that's like right next to it, and the makeup does not move. Using the darkest shade is XO, and it's like, you know, it's definitely like a pomade, but I feel like it gives me like that natural look. I mean, sometimes I'll use a powder, but I like the way that's filling it in. So let me finish my brows and we'll get back to me. All right, now that they're filled in, I know they don't look alike. I know they never do. My eyebrows give me the worst problems, but I'm gonna actually conceal them, so we're gonna fix all of that. And I'm using the Pat McGrath Laugh. This is the Sublime Perfection Concealer. I am a licensed cosmetologist and a pro makeup artist. I've done everything from photo shoots to special events, weddings, TV and film, production, commercials. I've done it all. I graduated from the Evada Institute and I've been doing hair professionally, legally for the past 10 years. I say professionally and legally, and I stress that because I have always done hair. I've always been the hair girl, the neighborhood braider, doing all my cousin's hair. Like, I've always been that girl. But it wasn't until I almost turned 30 and was having like a pre-midlife crisis, and I was like, no, I gotta do something. I was in the hospitality, late nights bartending, serving, and I was like, there has to be more. What can I do? Now, my mother was a hairstylist as I was growing up, so hairstyling and being in the salon was embedded in me from at a very young age. I hated being at the salon. Like, we would be at the salon all day long and I hated it. I was always around adults. Like, I hated it. And then my mother left the salon and she had a one-car garage that she completely broke down and made like a mini salon, put a sink in there and everything. So now the salon is at the house. So now I'm working, okay? I'm young. I'm taking out people rollers, okay? I'm the shampoo girl, I'm washing people hair. And it was like every Saturday morning, like that's what we would have to do. My mother book would be full and I would help her, but you know, I wanted to do other things as a kid. Like, I didn't want to be working, and that's what it felt like. So I vowed myself, I said, I will never be a hairstylist in my life. And I did that for a while. Like, I was like, nope. And everybody's like, but Laura, you're so good. You're so good. You should really go to school for this. When I turned 18, my mother was even willing to open up a salon for me. And I told her no. Well, if I could talk to my 18-year-old self today, but it's okay. It's okay. I told her, no, I want to do my own thing. I want to live my own life. Boom. I left, came to Orlando, got my own apartment, and I've been here ever since. All right. So what I did was I concealed my brows with the Pat McGrath concealer, and whatever was left over, I just brought it down just to kind of color correct my eyelids. Now, what I like to do on the top is I like to go in with my Rory Lee palette. This is the new Skin palette. Very inclusive to the brownies, all right? And what I like to do is I like to take a little bit of this darkest shade, because during the day, I'm not really like a foundation girly. So I just take a little bit of this, put it on the spatula, and I'm gonna show you what I'm gonna do with this. First of all, I love this formulation. This is the new Skin palette from Makeup by Rory Lee. And it is what it says it is. It's skin. It's skin. So what I do is I just kind of come in and I just clean up the top of my brow using that, because I'm going to do a little bit of pressed powder, but I don't think I'm doing foundation today. So, but look at that skin, right? Let me do the other side. Just clean it up. Look at that. Where'd it go? Where did it go? It literally like disappears into the skin. Yeah. So in 2013, I decided to register at Aveda, not even register, apply, because they definitely sat me down and interviewed me before they accepted me in their school. But I went, and you know what? When I sat there, I'm glad that they did that interview, because when I sat there and they asked me, why do you want to be a hairstylist? Why do you want to be in this industry? It kind of forced me to find my passion, and my passion was always there. It was instilled in me since I was a little girl. But you know, being stubborn and wanting to do your own thing, it took me this long to realize that it was my passion. So since I was getting in the game so late, I told myself that I was going to go to school and I was going to learn everything to the T. We're going to go back into the groundwork palette. I'm going to go with this second to darkest light shade, but I'm going to use the powder just to kind of create a base. When I started at the Aveda Institute, I went in there with a plan. Like, I was like, I'll make friends and everything like that, but I was paying $18,000 to be there. So I was like going in there, like not trying to play around. And I had this thing, I was like, I want to be that stylist that never refuses a service, because she knows how to do everything. So when it was time for like the chemistry part and the science part of like mixing colors and understanding color theory, I was locked in. We're keeping it light today. We're not going to do too much. Let me do the other side. Now I'm going to go in with this shade right here. It's like a burnt orange. She calls it Desire. So I'm going to go in with that and just kind of like soften the edges here. I was at every free class. Everybody who didn't want their mannequin, they knew, bring your mannequin to me because I'm going to fix it. I was just taking advantage. I was picking the educator's brains. I was always asking questions. Like, I wanted to be that girl. Towards the ending of my education, there was a contest that if you wanted to be a part of Professional Beauty Association's Beauty Week in Vegas, then you needed to submit a video and say why you wanted to be in the industry. And it was only open for cosmetology students. I jumped on it, got a video made, and I was actually chosen as an honorable mention to do 5 days in Vegas, attend the North American Hairstyling Awards, be a part of PBA's Beauty Week. And I had no idea the industry had like this size. So that trip to Vegas changed my life. I was like, oh, so I don't have to work in a salon? And that's when I was introduced to freelancing. But Professional Beauty Association Beauty Week 2014 changed my life. Being able to see the North American Hairstylist Awards, I didn't even know they had stuff going on like this. I'm talking about red carpet, press. There are so many talented people competing for different categories: texture, color, editorial. After leaving Vegas, I said, okay, yeah, this is the space that I want to be in right here. I'm going to go in with this shade right here. It's like a mauve. It's called Allure. So I'm going to go in with the cream first, just so y'all can see how it gets on. And then I'm going to set it with the powder so you can see. So I'm using more of like a flat brush. And I'm literally just like putting the cream right where I want the powder to go. So I'm kind of creating like a crease as well. We keeping it cute today. Other side. It's like literally like paint, but it's not greasy. It's movable. Boom. Now I'm gonna put the powder on top and blend it. Actually, I'm not gonna put the powder on because it's like a matte formulation and it's doing what it needs to do. Now what I am going to do is I'm going to reinforce the smoky eye a little bit, and then we done with the eyes, y'all. So of course, when you get out of school, you know what I mean, they want you to have like, if your license is fresh, they want you to have like that 2-year behind the chair experience. So I did it, you know what I mean. I worked for people for pennies, almost free sometimes. You know, I worked for different salons. I worked for corporate salons. I made my way. I did the shampoo girl thing. I did the assistant thing. But then when those 2 years was up, I started putting myself in a position to be able to jump into that industry. So I'm going to do this all at the same time. I put a little bit here. It's daytime, you know what I mean? So we don't need much. I put a little bit there just to clean it up. I put a little bit right here, and then I do a little bit right here for the hyperpigmentation. Then I go in, remember this shade, the first shade that I went over my eyebrows, I just kind of, you know, spot treat. Like I said, I'm not trying to do too much today, but we're just gonna make everything flawless, you know what I mean? And we're just gonna blend everything in at the same time. We jumping back into Danessa Myricks. This is the Dewy Cheek and Lip Palette. It's good for everything. I really like this shade right here for my blush. So I just kind of go on with my finger and I do like this shade. And I'm just gonna blend it out all together. But once I do this one, I also go on top of it with that next shade right here. And I just kind of go on top like that. All right, and we're gonna go ahead and blend all this out. This is what it looks like after I blend everything out, very soft. So now I'm gonna take my Rory Lee pressed powders. This is a pro palette, but she does sell these separately. And I'm just gonna go in with the darkest shade and I'm literally just gonna dust. I'm just gonna dust just to kind of, you know, soak up some of that oil, but we're not doing too much today. We are not. We coming back to this groundwork. Listen, this groundwork palette says that it's for eyes, brows, face, and lips. And believe me, I am experimenting with them all. So what I'm gonna do, I'm gonna go back with that darkest shade, the EXO, but this time I'm gonna do the powder and I'm just gonna go under my eyes just to kind of create like a little itty bitty shadow. Boom. I'm gonna build up just a little bit more on the blush. And I like this because it's like a dewy, it's supposed to be dewy. So it's good under the powder and on top of the powder. So I'm just gonna blend that out. So you can see, it just gives it just like an extra, you know what I mean? It's hard for us dark-skinned girlies to find a blush that works, okay? And this one, it works for me, okay? And then last but not least, everybody's always asking me what lip color I always have. This is the lip color. It's Makeup by Rory Lee. This is called Nude Nature. It's a luxury gloss. It has like vitamin E, coconut oils, jojoba oils. It has a slight tint to it. So it's definitely super moisturizing. Listen, there was a time she wasn't making these. These came by popular demand, okay? By popular demand, but look at that. And it stays moisturized all day and it's black owned. So this is the finished look. This is just like an everyday stepping out the house kind of thing if I do it, but let me know what y'all think in the comments. And if y'all have any questions for me, drop them in the comments. I'll definitely do a video. We got some new content coming, okay? We got interviews coming. We got possibly a podcast, okay? So thank y'all for being here. And new followers, welcome home.